I have not recorded this series in so long because when I started making it, I thought that it would be something I could document week by week, month by month, and kind of update you guys on how I was feeling, what my experience was, and how things were changing. But little did I know, it was not going to be like that at all. Real integration takes time, and reprogramming my mind space, my mindset, my self-talk, my self-love wasn't as simple as I thought it was going to be. It's not just like a mindset hack or positive thinking. I had to completely shift my whole inner narrative, how I view myself, how I view my past, and how I view my current reality as well. It was about seeing through illusions and finding my own truth. Everything had to change. It was a whole inner world shift. 2025 was the year of the snake, and I thought, because I am a metal snake, I thought that it was going to be a brilliant year for me, which it was. But it was really good for me in the way that it allowed me to really examine what parts of myself I needed to let go of. I spent a lot of time with myself, and that kind of forced me to meet myself in a different way, to meet my shadow, to meet my fears, to meet my wounds, my worries, my anxieties on a much deeper level than I had ever experienced before. So this period of isolation was actually more of an initiation. I'm so grateful for it, because without that, I just wouldn't have been able to meet myself so deeply. So the whole of 2025, I kind of felt like I was in an in-between phase. I could feel my old self dissolving, and I could feel my new self being formed, but I was kind of in the middle where all I could do was just observe. Probably the most uncomfortable part of it all, of all this change, is just like there's so many emotions that come up. There's so much grief, so much discomfort, so much uncertainty, and it kind of feels like a bit of an ego death maybe. The reality is that you can't rush this part. You can't rush becoming who you're becoming. For so long I let my emotions control me, and whatever I was feeling, I sort of identified with that, and I was that. So if I felt anxious, or if I felt like a failure, I was that. And there was no distinction, and I just let those emotions get the better of me. I let them have authority over me. I gave my power away to how I was feeling, and that's been really, really key for me. It's like taking back that power and learn that they are signals and they are indicators, but they are not definitive truths. So I really had to shift my language. So instead of being like, oh, I feel really anxious and nervous and I don't know what I'm doing and da 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 da, I really just had to be like, okay, I can feel that there's a bit of anxiety here. That's okay. We're going to witness it. And in my witnessing it, then I could let it go. And emotions became more like information rather than identity, which helped me create that sort of calm space within my mind, within my body. I wasn't getting rid of my emotions, but I was removing their authority. So between March and July, I think March was like full of lunar eclipses and solar eclipses last year. I think around that sort of season, there was lots of planetary energies very active. So I took advantage of that. I love working with the moon. I love doing new moon rituals, full moon purges. I love it. I just think it's a great way to kind of create sort of spiritual habits and consistency. And for me, it's a great way to show up and kind of check in with myself and where I'm at and how I want to be moving forward. During this time, I was doing a lot of shadow work. I love the artist way. There's actually loads of really good exercises for addressing the shadow and inner childhood wounds that we carry forward into our adulthood. So I started working through lots of Julia Cameron's prompts. I started really asking myself questions that I'd avoided for a long time. I've made videos on it before, but I do a lot of automatic writing. So whenever I want to connect with my shadow, with my inner child, with my subconscious, I'll do it in an automatic question and answer format. And so I was asking myself things like, what am I carrying that no longer serve me? How does this show up in my life? Asking why, asking how, and really like looking at myself and what I knew wasn't working. I was naming my fears instead of avoiding them. I had to really realise that many of the beliefs that I was carrying about myself were not true and they were inherited. If you know about generational trauma, then you know we carry on a lot of stuff through our DNA, through our lineage, that just isn't ours. And if you believe in past lives and stuff like that, which I do, I think we carry so much that we don't even, we can't even consciously or actively recognise, because it's not from this time, it's from a time before. And so much of this can influence the way in which we think of ourselves, how we show up in the world. So I was really taking time to sit with those feelings, to sit with those fears, and just naming them helps so much. Some of the main tools that I used, like I said, was journaling, automatic writing, and really just practicing self-compassion. I love affirmations. I love mirror work. It's just one of those ones where it's like, you just have to keep showing up every day. You have to show up and meet yourself again, and meet the version of you that's scared, and meet the version of you that doesn't feel worthy, and you just need to keep showing them the love that they are. A lot of my reprogramming came down to repetition and rituals. I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in higher power. I believe in divine source, whatever you want to call it. I think there's so much power in connecting with something greater than yourself. So I ask these higher forces for help all the time, and that's really made a massive difference in my life. Like, having something greater than myself to believe in is so powerful for me. So all of this, like purging, releasing, journaling, automatic writing, all of these are like great tools. One key point to make is that all of this was about releasing the old, but not erasing it. Like, I'm not trying to forget those parts of me. I'm trying to honour them, to see them, but to gently replace them with something that's more aligned. All this repetition and consistency, rituals, all these things that you can do to reprogram your self-talk will just build that sense of safety within your nervous system. Our nervous system loves repetition. Changing how I relate to my past, that was really important for me last year. Often I would view my past as definitive, as proof of failure. What I really had to do was stop seeing it like that. Our past makes us the people that we are today. Our past is like sacred shaping. From our past we form our identities and who we are. So I started speaking to my past self with compassion, themes around shame, self-loathing. These all started to just dissolve naturally. And so I stopped asking what was wrong with me, and I started recognizing how I started recognizing the ways in which I was showing up to survive. And one major thing I'd really been struggling with was my relationship to productivity and worth. Learn to just see my worth for who I am, not what I produce or what I do. I had to learn how to self-soothe instead of self-abandoning, respond to pain with care and not criticism. This is all just self-love in practice, and it's not something that I could change overnight. It had to it was just, like I said earlier, day by day, just showing up for myself, being that kindness that I needed. As parts of our old self is falling away and this new self isn't fully formed, it's like you're holding like a baby, and it's so precious. What I'm seeing in my mind's eye is like someone with a burn on their skin, and it's like they've popped the blister on the skin. Sorry, this is kind of gross, but they've popped the blister on the skin, and it's like you can't just be at that new skin. You have to let it heal, you have to let it form, you have to let the old skin sort of fall away gently on its own. You can't rush that process. So it's really all about just being super kind and gentle with yourself and looking after yourself like you would a baby. That's what I kept saying last year, like, I need to be babied, and I'm babying myself. I'd wrap up in warm clothes, I'd do things that make me feel happy, I'd do things that make me feel safe, and I just honour whatever I was feeling and remind myself that this is all just part of this healing journey that I'm on, and it's not going to be forever. It got easier to tell myself these things as I practiced. It felt more and more true. Rewriting my inner story was never about becoming someone new or just thinking positive thoughts. It was about uncovering who I already was. My inner voice is not perfect, but it's a lot more kind. Thoughts and doubts still arise as they do, but they don't define me now. So if you're on a journey of self-love, of changing your self-talk, I just want to show you guys that you can do it, even when you feel like you can't, even when you feel like you're never able to change. You can do it, because if I can do it, you can do it. And this really is a process, and it's not going to be something that changes overnight. You're just going to have to keep showing up for yourself every single day and commit to becoming the version of you who you already are. You've just got to dig. Just keep digging and you'll find that version of you. Keep digging, but dig gently. Don't force it. Don't rush it. My advice would be to just start by observing. Start observing, not fixing. There's nothing wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You just need to see yourself. And creating that sense of safety within yourself will bring on the transformation. I really hope that this has resonated with the right people. I hope that I have inspired you and that I've shown you guys some tools, some ideas of how you can sort of rewrite your own inner story to one that's more loving, to more compassionate and happier. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support, and I love you lots, and I'm sending you a big hug and happy healing. Okay, bye.